Welcome to the August 16th edition of the Worldview feature. I am your host, Gil Halsted. Today's interview will take us to Haiti and a very unique, socially responsible nonprofit that produces coffee, chocolate, and some pretty amazing metal art. Haiti is not a place I would necessarily associate with any of these things, but over the next half hour, I hope to learn more about what the folks who work with singingrooster.org are all about. We actually have had a show on this a couple of years ago, but it's been a long time, and I need to be reminded. I've got a list of questions that range from what's the significance of the name Singing Rooster to how do coffee, chocolate, and metal art all fit together to make this outfit work as it apparently has since its founding about 15 years ago. So to answer those questions and others, I am joined on Zoom by Dena, the managing director of singingrooster.org. Welcome, Justin.
Hey, Gil. Thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to speak with you. And I look forward to jumping into the call.
All right. So the website says that Singing Rooster was founded in 2009, 2010 with a simple belief. Haiti doesn't lack talent. It lacks reliable markets, logistics, finance, and investment. And then what began with coffee has grown into a nonprofit social enterprise connecting farmers, cacao producers, and artists with customers around the world. So can you flesh that out for us a little bit? The founding.
I'm happy to add a few more details. The Molly and Christophe Ninkes founded Singing Rooster. They'd spent some time traveling to Haiti on a mission trip that did involve some work in some impoverished areas in Haiti. And while there, one of the things that Christophe and Molly both realized is wanting to make lasting impact, not just for a short duration of time. You mentioned the name. Well, the name Singing Rooster came from the roosters that are everywhere in Haiti that like to crow quite early in the morning. And so Molly came up with this name one morning when she was awake at 3 a.m. from the rooster singing. So they started in Haiti looking at other ways to be able to impact people long term, and how we can use coffee came up as one of the Haiti historically has produced coffee, and coffee has been exported from Haiti for quite some time. So we looked at that as an avenue for economic development in rural Haiti.
And so was there a direct connection to Wisconsin at some time? Because it seemed to me that is that where the two founding folks came from originally, or?
Yes, so they're both from Wisconsin.
Okay.
And been to Wisconsin many times. For the longest time, we had our roastery in a cornfield in Wisconsin. And
Really?
and
Okay.
we've actually recently relocated to New Jersey to be a little bit closer to the ports, to be a little bit closer to a larger market. And very sadly, there's been some substantial change at Singing Rooster. 3 years ago, Christophe passed away rapidly, and Molly has ended up. She's still in the area. She's back and forth, but she spent some time in New Jersey with some family out there. And it's been a place where we've set up the roasting operation for now to continue there. We are still headquartered in Wisconsin, so that's
Really?
we still have our headquarters and base in Wisconsin.
And where is it in which part?
We're in Hager City right now.
No, but where in
So
Wisconsin? You said that the headquarters is still in what town? Here in Wisconsin?
in Hager City, Wisconsin.
Oh, really? Okay. Not a familiar name to
Yes. Oh, it's up north by Red Wing.
me. Ah,
A couple
okay.
hours up north. Yeah.
So closer to the Minnesota border, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's move on to what's going on now with the coffee part I got. What about the chocolate and the metal art? How did those two things weave themselves in? I mean, I assume that cacao has also been a traditional produce from Haiti, right? But
Cacao is traditionally grown in Haiti as well. And as our work with coffee cooperatives it's grown into working with cacao cooperatives. So there's quite a bit of crossover with cacao and coffee. So slowly we've started this last few years. We've actually increased our work with the cacao cooperatives in the north, and the concept remains very similar to what it is with coffee. We support the cooperatives with the type of things they need for harvesting, for prepping the product, and then we help to import that to the U.S., where we do have a line of chocolate bars that we've partnered with a bean to bar maker to produce those. And then also we have some raw cacao that we sell to other bean to bar makers. So our our focus there is to help to open the market for cacao producers and their cooperatives in the U.S.
Tell me a little bit more about the partners, the cooperative members there. Is there a long history of cooperatives that grow and harvest coffee and cacao that you kind of tapped into to try to improve their ability to market their products?
Yes. So some of the cooperatives trace their roots back to the 60s. And they have a long history of having these established cooperatives in Haiti. And they're farming cooperatives, and their farmer members are leading the cooperatives. And in Haiti, the farmers are oftentimes very small. There's a lot of smallholder farmers around the world that produce coffee and cacao. In Haiti, oftentimes the landowners or the farmers are pretty small. Maybe they don't even have a hectare of land, or maybe it's a few trees even that they're harvesting. So the cooperative model works really nicely for them because they must work together collaboratively in order to produce enough for sale. And so we've been able to partner with these cooperatives, and right now we work with 30 farmer cooperatives across Haiti.
That's a lot. Okay, so that covers in all different parts of the country, or is it mainly located in a particular region?
We are actually stretched all across Haiti, but there's concentrations. So in the south, in the Chiot region, there's the majority of coffee production happens there, and so there's the majority of cooperatives around coffee are in that area. For cacao, it's in the north. So if you look at a map, Cap Haitian in the north of Haiti, the cacao cooperatives are kind of clustered in that area. So those are the two main areas, and then you have a Baptiste region, which is on the border with Dominican Republic, sort of in central Haiti. We do have some cooperatives there that produce coffee. If you go on the southern peninsula, all the way out to an area called Beaumont, in this area, we also have some coffee cooperatives. We have a history of working with them since 2009. And, over the years, we've developed stronger and stronger relationships with them.
They're doing the work, and in terms of the support that Singing Rooster on this end, maybe your end, in terms of the fundraising that you have done, helps provide the equipment and the infrastructure. I see here on the website it refers to drying towers. That would be for both coffee and cacao, or is that just for?
It's for both.
Yeah.
So in both products need to be dried, and there's a lot of infrastructure needs that the cooperatives have, and we do support cooperative-led projects where we need to build additional drying infrastructure, we need to build additional washing stations, or we need to anything that belongs to the supply chain for producing the cacao and coffee. We also invest heavily in reforestation with coffee seedlings and cacao seedlings in order to produce more income for the farmers. If they can plant more trees, if they can get their quality
Right.
Improved with processing, they're able to see higher income.
So the art front, let's talk a little bit about that. I'm looking at the website that has this great group picture with folks all raising their hands in front of when I first looked at it, I thought it sort of looks like a totem pole, but I guess it's a really large statue of some kind. Is this metal art that I'm looking at in the picture?
It is, and they build some pretty fantastic structures and like large pieces of art and sculptures. These ones we don't export ones
Right.
of that size, but
just to tell the listeners, it's at least maybe 20 feet tall. This metal. I guess it's like a statue. It's a woman, right? It's an image of a woman with a dress.
It's a woman in the metal art village. So this is a group of artists from Croix-de-Bouquet, which is the area in Port-au-Prince.
Ah.
And so We have a facility in Haiti for processing the final transformation of some of the coffee and cacao in preparation for export. This happens to be kind of close to this artist village. So
Okay.
while we were working in that area over the years, Molly began to work very closely with the artists, and this is, we developed a relationship with an artist cooperative, and this same concept applies to the metal art. Is they're the issue is access to market,
Sure.
and with better access to market, with the ability to move their products internationally, they have this be able to see much higher returns than if they was to sell them locally or to sell them through middlemen.
Yeah, I'm curious about this metal art. I mean, there's lots of pictures on the website, and I guess I should mention now, and I'll say it again at the end of our conversation, that the website for singingrooster.org is singingrooster.org, and you can find out a lot about all of the aspects of what they do. In the About section, there are some really great pictures. The art, I'm going to do that pull down right now. I mean, you see a lot of it is bowls. It seems like that's one of the main things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
That are made from metal.
Yep, there's a lot of metal sculptures, and we have a wide variety of them. We have some flip books on there that go through some of the different products.
Right.
But these are upcycled oil drums. So, Haiti is a net importer of oil. So the oil comes in the drums, and then these build up on the island. And it's a creative way for them to utilize a material that is available to create some art that is then able to bring income to them and their families.
Right. And the way that the art fits in, I want to get to a different place on the website here. There's a description of the 5 pillars of Singing Rooster. Do you know what these 5 pillars are?
Yeah, so we've been working to really be able to establish a stronger approach to how we do our work and how we work in Haiti. And so the 5 pillars that we have established, I'm if they're
I can read
don't
them
have
off.
the website
No,
pulled
no,
up in
no,
front
no,
of me,
that's
so
okay.
yeah,
I can read it off. So it's
and
in,
I'll just add some more details
yeah.
for you.
Investing in producers and building capacity is number 1. Investing in producers and building capacity.
Yeah. So we look at the metal artists as more producers as well, and so investing in them, investing in the supply chain for the cacao producers and coffee producers. This helps to generate more income and for the farmers and their families. For example, last year we had deployed almost $1 million in capital, like
Really?
pre-investments for pre-harvest financing. And
Right. And stop
we've
there
done
for a
some.
second, because the pre-harvest financing, as I'm looking through the website, is a key part of what makes this whole thing work, because it's what allows the farmers, and I guess there must be something similar in terms of materials, getting access to materials for the
Yes.
artists and the tools that they need.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, we're able to acquire additional tools that they need. And in coffee and cacao, one of the things that we have set up for these cooperatives is the ability to pay in products sometimes. So if they
Really?
need a certain amount of cash in order to purchase product, once they've purchased and processed that product, once it has to meet a certain quality threshold, and there's some details there, but we'll actually accept that in exchange for them having to pay back, and having access to cash is what is able to strengthen the cooperatives and have them continue to operate on this buy-in cycle, because every year they're having to buy the coffee from
Right.
from cooperative members, and in Haiti, they're in need of the cash right now. What they have of value is their coffee, so they don't want to give it up with the promise of a later return. They need to have something now to be able to feed their family.
And then number 2 among these 5 pillars is listed as becoming the customer. That's purchasing the coffee and cacao and the handcrafted art directly from these producer groups, the co-ops, both the art co-ops and the cacao and coffee, and paying them a fair trade price to create immediate income while giving the producers the confidence to invest in the future. So without the help of what's happening on this end, they wouldn't be able to continue to grow, and they wouldn't be making as much money, I guess, right?
Correct. And one thing we find that now today, like we're playing a pretty big role in being able to provide this access to market for these producers. And we've developed long relationships, and so this access to market is very important for them to be able to continue to support their families and support their livelihoods.
And then number three is bringing Haiti to the world. The farmers and the artisans, the challenge isn't necessarily producing their exceptional products. Well, that seems like a challenge to me, but I mean, it's what they do, I guess, is the point, right? But it's
Yeah.
finding dependable buyers willing to pay prices that will sustain the folks who are producing it. Haitians have been. You pointed this out, and I guess when we think about coffee, at least for me, Haiti isn't the first country that comes to mind. But
No,
it's
it
clear that they've been growing what's listed here on the website as both heirloom coffee and cacao for over 250 years.
Yes, so actually Haiti historically is one of the first countries and in the New World to have, or the first island in the Hispaniola was the first island in the New World to have coffee planted. And when the French ended up bringing it over to
Okay.
Haiti and Martinique in the 1700s. And so there's a long history of coffee being grown in Haiti. And there's a period of a little bit of a dark history there when the French were involved. But after the Haitian Revolution, the farmers were really continued the
Yeah.
tradition of farming coffee.
It's a really interesting history. I'd love to look more into it. The fourth pillar listed on your website is building demand and growing lasting markets. So I think maybe you've sort of covered a lot of that already, but I mean, it's just continuing
Yeah,
to
and
go ahead.
and one of a lot of my work it takes place on the in Haiti, where we're really working on getting the attention of different coffee roasteries or coffee shops or people that are interested in either buying our roasted product or even green coffee or raw cacao. And so it's a fairly broad market that's available, but the competition in coffee is really tough.
I imagine, yeah. I mean, and when I go into a shop here, the huge range of coffee available for the typical consumer of coffee here that and even within the quote unquote fair trade category of that, there's a lot of
Yeah, and if you
competition.
don't If you don't mind to just touch on that fair
Yeah,
trade
please.
point just a
Yeah.
little bit, and also like the prices, because one of the reasons like we find there's a bit of a challenge is that our philosophy going into Haiti was we had to pay the producers a price that they could survive on. Like we have to pay something that they can thrive, that they can build something that they can. So we set up some demonstration farms to really figure out what the cost of inputs is required for producing coffee in Haiti. And then once we have that established baseline, we've got to pay over that baseline. So the price for Haitian coffee is actually sometimes quite a bit higher than the price for say a Brazilian coffee where they're growing at like a much larger scale. So when we're competing with a higher price coffee, sometimes the economics of it doesn't work for everybody, and they'll oftentimes go towards the lower price product.
Right. But so within the fair trade, it's the same issue because the stuff that I see when I go into the store is stuff both from Africa and Latin America or the
Yeah, and so fair trade attaches a premium
right.
to the market price. That's the C market price, and I don't want to dive too far into these
Okay.
details, but the we're not we're paying above the fair trade premium, so we're paying quite a bit more than the
I
fair
see.
trade
Okay.
premium in most cases. Yeah.
Right. And while we're on that topic of actually buying the product, what's the best way for consumers here who want to try out Haitian coffee or cacao to actually buy it? Is going to the website the best, or are there outlets here where we could look for it?
Yeah, I mean, the website would be the best way.
Yeah.
We do drop shipping. We do have some local shops that do have some products, but I'm not sure. One of them's a farmers market there
Uh-huh.
that's up and running. Yeah, we have some vendors there. that sell our products. So you might be able to look for them there, but the website is the most straightforward way to have it delivered.
Right, and I'm guessing the art may be only available there, or are there
We do have
physical?
distributors that resell our art as well, but the website is going to be your fastest way to get it, and then also to be able to look at the variety that we have
Right.
online as well.
And so that is, yeah, just encourage people to check out singingrooster.org, where you can find some really great pictures and descriptions about both the art, the coffee, and the chocolate. Let's talk about the fundraising end of this. The price that we're paying for the art, the coffee, or the chocolate is something that's getting turned around back into to these co-ops so that they can survive.
Yes. So we say that 66% of the price of the coffee goes back into pockets of the producers. We have some other costs associated with the bag, but really 100% of this Singing Rooster is established as a nonprofit, and so we invest 100% of our proceeds back into mission.
Right. And when you say, I guess when you were talking about the very beginning, back briefly to the founding, when the two founders were there, they were working
Yep.
on, when you say mission, was it religiously based mission that they were?
They'd gone down there with an Episcopal church that they were
Right.
associated
Okay.
with. Yeah.
And so what I'm wondering now, you're on your way back from Haiti, what were you doing while you were there?
I was spending a lot of time meeting with the cooperatives,
Yeah.
and talking about the previous harvest and the upcoming harvest, and needs that they have for to make the next harvest happen.
And so I'm curious now because the news that we hear about the domestic situation in Haiti right now, has that made it difficult to get product out? Have things been more complicated for you, or are there ways you just have found to keep
Mm,
going?
I would say for sure things are a bit more complicated. It's there's additional challenges associated with the current environment in Haiti, particularly in operating in any kind of movement through Port-au-Prince is incredibly challenging. But we have ways that we continue to move products out of Haiti. And the today I would say that the producers and the reports that they're giving me is like we've become really a vital lifeline for them during this hard period of time. And so with this in mind, like I just encourage listeners to check out our products and to buy some coffee and some maybe a little art or chocolate. And the thing is that there Haiti is going through a really difficult period of time, but I think that the producers see hope in that we're still there and we're still able to continue to provide support.
Obviously, one major way to support what's going on is to actually buy the products, but
Yes.
you also accept donations. The fundraising that
We yeah, we do. We haven't really focused heavy on the
right,
fundraising in
okay,
the last few years, but we absolutely accept donations. And we have some relationships with some foundations that have been able to extend larger amounts of money, so that we can grow our pre-finance to these and available financing for the cooperatives. And also, there's always projects that the cooperatives are in need of some additional investments,
in
whether it's
infrastructure.
these drying tables, exactly the drying tables are the things that we talked about, and those type of projects we usually set up it's usually turns into a place where the cooperatives will contribute, and then we'll contribute some to make it happen.
And Justin, Dana, just we're getting near the end to kind of wrap up our conversation. Tell me how and why you got involved in this. I'm curious in your personal, what drew you to work with Singing Rooster?
Yeah, so my background is a bit diverse. I spent a little time in the military and actually traveled around to quite a few different countries. Some of them were coffee producing countries. This
Ah,
this kind of piqued my interest in coffee. I come from a farming background where both my grandparents were farmers, and so I ended up going to school for international development. A friend of mine was working in Haiti, and And my final semester in school after the military, I went with her to Haiti, and I was like, oh, I have to get some good coffee from Haiti. Well, what do you know? I found Singing Rooster,
Yeah.
and it was amazing coffee. And so shortly after that, I kept calling the co-founder, and I was like, oh, I'm about to graduate from university. Are you guys looking for some help? And so she ended up saying, yeah, come on, and we'll you can come and work with us for a little bit. And that little internship turned into now
Mhm.
almost 11 years later.
Really, 11 years. Okay, so
Yeah.
and the organization itself has only been around for a little more than 15. It looks like
Yeah, I was at, yep, 15, 16 years now. So
16
yeah.
years now.
Yep.
Well, Justin, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, so when I say goodbye, I want to say it correctly.
Oh yeah, so it's Dena is the
Dena.
correct pronunciation. Yes.
Justin
So
Dena,
Gil, it's been great.
yeah. Thanks so much for joining us for this conversation and telling us about Singing Rooster, its history, and how it's still operating. It seems to be going strong. So we hope to check in with you again in the near future.
Yeah, Gil. Thanks so much, and take care.
You too. Bye-bye.